A Linux administrator spends most of his work time in the terminal. In this lecture, I'll show you a list of useful bash shortcuts that every Linux admin should know if he wants to get things done faster. Let's get started. Ctrl+L clears the screen. If there's anything on the screen, you can clear it by pressing Ctrl+L. It's similar to running the clear command. Ctrl+D closes the bash shell. It's similar to running the exit command. I'm pressing Ctrl+D. The shell was closed. I'm opening the terminal again. You can also type exit. Ctrl+A moves the cursor to the beginning of the line. This is useful if we run a command on a file and then we want to run another command on the same file, like I'm running ls-l etc password, and now I want to run the cat command on the same file. Instead of writing the command again, I can press up the arrow key to recall the last command and then press on Ctrl+A to move the cursor to the beginning of the line. Now I can simply replace ls with cat and run the new command. Of course, I have to remove the -l option, which is an option of ls. By the way, up arrow key retrieves the previous command. If you press it constantly, it takes you through multiple commands in history, so you can find the one you want. Use the down arrow to move in the reverse direction through the history. Another useful shortcut is Ctrl+E, which moves the cursor to the end of the line. I'm pressing Ctrl+D, and the cursor was moved to the end. I can continue writing. Another useful shortcut is Ctrl+U, which deletes all characters before the cursor by cutting and adding them to the clipboard. Let's consider this command, and you want to execute another one. Instead of pressing on backspace multiple times, you could press Ctrl+U. Ctrl+U is also useful when you type in a password and after a few characters you realize you made a mistake. I have typed a few characters and I've realized I did a mistake. Instead of pressing on backspace multiple times, I could press Ctrl+U. The entire command line was deleted. Let's move on and see another shortcut. To interrupt the process running in the current terminal, press Ctrl and C. Let's say you run a command that takes some time and want to stop it. Then you press Ctrl and C. For example, I'm gonna download a very big file using wget, and after a few seconds I'll decide that I want to stop it. And I'm stopping the command, pressing Ctrl and C. It was stopped. Or another one. Ping and an IP address. Without any option, ping will send packets continuously. I'm stopping it by pressing on Ctrl and C. It was stopped. Note that Ctrl and Z does not stop the current running process as Ctrl+C does, but only suspends or pauses it, and it can be resumed later on. I'm pressing on Ctrl and Z. The process was not interrupted, was just stopped. The difference being that I can resume it anytime later. For example, big G, %1, and the process was resumed. We'll talk more about these concepts in the process section.